How many days are left in 2023? Well, that's an easy one. I can tell you there are 112 days left this year, but how many homes did we sell last year, and how many are we going to sell this year? Stick with me this week, and I'll tell you as we bring out the first of the prediction shows for 2023. Hey there, welcome to the show. It's Les Solgrove. This is Simply Des Moines Market Values weekly update for week 36, 2023. We are on the downhill slide. We're about 2 more weeks away from starting the fourth quarter of this year. And I'm going to try to start to answer some of these questions like, how many homes are we going to sell by the end of this year, and are we on pace to do that? So with that, let's take a look at this week's daily market hot sheet. And again, just like always, this hot sheet includes a second page, which is basically the graphics in a chart format. But we're going to come back and refer to a section of this first graphic here in just a second here. So before we get into the real show, we're going to talk quickly about what happened on September 2nd. Now, last week's show was the end of month, so I decided to wait until this week to talk about the 9,000 closed sale milestone. That happened on September 2nd, and it took us 23 days this time to hit that milestone from 8,000 to 9,000, and that's pretty much on track with 2019, maybe a couple days slower than that, just a day away from 2016. So we're kind of hanging in there prior to COVID, and it's not looking too bad as we get closer to the end of the year. So 9,000 closed sales, and if you want to look at it again from this particular perspective, on September 2nd, when we surpassed that 9,000 closed sale count, we were very, very similar again to 2019, where we had 9,425 versus 9,060, or again that 2016 number there. So and actually really from 2019 all the way back to even really 2015, that's kind of been our average. So we're really kind of back to where we were before COVID in these numbers here. So so this week's show is going to be a start of the prediction season. This is the very one of many we'll have this year. I thought maybe I would kind of break out some of my predictions on a weekly basis as opposed to trying to cover them all under 1 week. And so this week we're going to jump in and see if I can figure out how many homes we predict to have closed in the books as of the end of December 2023. And any guesses this week? I'd like to hear your thoughts afterwards from what I'm telling you that I think we're going to be at here before we get to the end of the year, by the time we get to the end of the year. So I spent some time today doing a little bit of analysis. Some weeks I just look at the stats and try to report on what happened. This week's a little different because if we're going to try to do some predictions, I want to have some backup. And so I did a little analysis, and the chart on the left here shows you the total sales year for the year going back to 2009, and you can see that we've progressively increased that through 2021. There was a couple of years there where we actually had right in here where we actually had sales kind of dip just a little bit, but then 2020 and 2021, of course, were our COVID years, and were pretty strong. Last year we had a hit because of the fast rising mortgage rates. So the column in the middle is where we are sitting year to date. So as of today, we have got closed. Well, I'll show you that in a minute here. 2022 at this point in time, September 10th, we were at 11,395 homes closed versus the 15,490 that we ended up with. The column on the right shows the percentage of closed sales as of this date. So I'm going to use this number over here pretty heavy to kind of help calculate where we are percentage wise. Now, obviously last year we saw homes closing at a little bit faster pace, and at this time of year we were at 73%, and then as we got near the end of the year, the last quarter, it slowed down tremendously. So this just happens to be as of September 10th of 2022. And so the first thing I want to do is we want to refer back to the market hot sheet. And this is that year-to-date closed section here. And what we're going to pay attention to here first is this number right here. So as of today, September 10th, we're currently sitting at 9,288 closed sales. And if you look at that again down here on this left-hand column in the center there, or this left-hand chart in the center of the column, you can see that we are, about 2,000 sales, a little over 2,000 sales behind last year. So that's going to weigh heavily on where we're going to end the year, because I really don't think we're going to hit that 15,490 again based on these numbers. So the next thing I want to do is I looked at the percentage, year-to-date percentage, where we were at this point on September 10th, going all the way back to 2010. I didn't have the records for 2009 at that point. So going back to 2010, you can see that different years we were at different points. 2010 we were at almost 74%, which is very similar to where we were here just last year. But if you average all of these percentages over these last 12 years or so, that number basically averages out to about 69.8%. And if you take that 69.8% and you factor that into this 9288, that tells us that we're going to end the year somewhere close to that 13,300 number. Now, we've had a little bit of a push here the last couple of weeks, and I'm also going to be a little bit optimistic, so I'm going to round that up, and I'm going to predict, this is my first of my predictions, I'm going to predict that we're going to end 2023 right around that 13,500 closed sale count. Now that's going to be down considerably from 2021, down a couple thousand from 2022, but I think that that's a safe prediction based on where we're kind of at this year and where we've come along here. So that's the number we're going to do. Now, the other thing I want to kind of focus on is, okay, so 13.5 is the number, but where are these sales going to come from? Are they going to come from existing home sales, new condo townhome sales? Which category is going to lead the way? And it's one thing to come up with these predictions, but it's another thing to apply them to some graphics to kind of prove these predictions. And that's what we're going to do with the rest of today's show. We're going to look at some of these predictions as applied to a graphic. So in this left-hand column up here in the middle, closed by category, so all homes, that 13,500, if you take that number and you apply times 68%, for example, that says that 68% of that 13,500 closed sales is going to equate to right at 9,200 closed sales year to date, and all the way down the line here. So 11% of our sales so far this year to date, existing condo townhomes have made up 11%. That means that they're going to bring in about 1,500 homes closed by the end of the year. 2119 for new homes, and about 663 for the new condo townhomes. Now, the great thing about this analysis is it's all automated. I went ahead and wrote some programming to this so that as the year progresses, if we see an uptick in closed sales, if sale pendings tend to pick up or slow down, it'll be adjusted on this, and this number may go up or go down. And also, if this percentage decides to break out a little bit, let's say all of a sudden we have a surge of existing condo townhomes and they start to make up 12 or 13%, and another area dips a little bit, then these numbers might be just a little bit different. But the idea is that I wanted to write a little program on this so that as the year progressed, we could kind of have a running look at where we are at predicted closed sales at year to date. And so as of September 10th, 2023, with 112 days left in this year, my prediction today is 13,500, and I will reserve the right to alter this if the market changes, because I can't control the market, but I can kind of help control a little bit of my predictions based on the market activity. So with that said, let's start off looking at existing homes, and which is going to give us that 68% of our market share in closed sales, and that 9,199 closed sales. And right over here to the right, there's that 91.99, and this is the same that we're going to see all the way through the rest of the show here. So the dotted line is the prediction. It's a straight line prediction. It doesn't take into account seasonality, so it just goes from 0 to this point in time, this 91.99, and that's how that number was based. I didn't pull this number out of the air. This 91.99 is basically a calculated analysis of where we think we're going to end the year. And what I do like about this is it kind of confirms, because if you look at the blue section here, this is 2023's year-to-date close sales. And as of today, we're pretty much right on target with that 91.99. Now you can see that prior to this, we were falling behind that number. Again, this is assuming that this is a straight line prediction, and we know that with seasonality, it tends not to be. We're going to have ups and downs, and there's going to be one graphic here in a minute you'll see that really shows those seasonalities, and it was in the new construction field. But comparing this blue area from 2023 to 2022, which is the black line, we are behind last year. We know that. And then where we are compared to 2021 was actually even a little higher year. Obviously, we closed more sales in that year than we did last year, and will close this year. So this just gives me the idea that I believe that we're pretty much right on track for that 91.99 or 9,200 closed sales, and it'll be interesting at the end of the year. I'll bring back this graphic and on the very first projection or prediction, and we'll see if I was right early on or if we made adjustments along the way. But at least for today, we're at 9,200 closed sales in this category. The existing condo townhomes, again, similar path here. Again, 2021 we had the most sales. 2022 was a fewer than that, and we're pretty much behind. This is one area that's always been pretty active, and I will say that the days on market in this category are continuing to be very, very low. When these come on the market, excuse me, catch a drink there real quick. But the prediction here looks like we're going to end up right around that 1,520, a little over 1,500 year-to-date closed sales on the existing condo townhomes. Now it gets interesting. We look in the new construction. This is new construction homes, not condo townhomes new, just the regular, the single-family homes. And you can see that the predictions are a little bit more positive here at 2,119 or 2,100, a little over 2,100 closed sales predicted. However, you can see that 2022, we were leading the way in this category earlier this year, but as we came into the fall, sales started to fall back a little bit, and this probably has something to do, obviously, with the rise of mortgage interest rates, but also look at these little areas here where it kind of goes up each month, a little bit up and a little bit up. This is a daily graphic. Now, starting next year, I'm going to change up my graphics a little bit and go to more weekly stuff, but this gives you an idea that, we do have some seasonality, and these are closed sales, and when homes do close, these are the actual numbers, so therefore it makes sense that near the end of a month we see kind of a rise, because a lot of home sellers are trying to close near the end of the month. So in new construction, we kind of see this a little bit more. It just seems anyway. So there's a little bump up in March or April, May, a little bit in June, and then it steadies off here. So 2119 is our prediction for new construction. Now let's look at the one outlier here. This is new construction condo townhomes. Again, there's those stair-step closings each month there where we have the surge. But this year, new construction has pretty much kept pace with last year and the previous year. We were a little behind as the year started out, but we're pretty much neck and neck in all 3 years right now as of the September 10th date here. We're sitting at just under 500 closed sales year to date, and that's right along where we were last year. And I feel pretty confident based on the number of sales that are in sale pendings and the activity with the new construction condo townhomes that this could be the one category that outpaces 2021 and 2022 as we move forward here. And so I'm predicting about 660 63 closed sales based on that analysis before, which is going to be just a handful of sales less than last year or 2021. But it'll be interesting to see if this does play out here. So. And then, of course, the last one here, this is the last graphic. This is all homes. This is the that takes into account all the new construction, all the resale properties all together here. And again, the dotted line is just a straight line prediction from January 1st to the end of the year. There's that 13,500 we talked about at the beginning. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. Let's go back. 13,500. And, we're going to end up being, probably right around 2,000 closed sales, maybe a little less than that closed sales behind last year and considerably behind 2021. But I do think we've got the ability to end the year strong this year. And if mortgage interest rates do start to tick down just a little bit, I think that will play well into the fourth quarter. So anyway, that's the show this week. If you find the information valuable that I'm putting out each week, please give me a thumbs up on the YouTube channel. Hit the like button on the social media channels. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel as well. You'll get the information as quickly as it comes out. And with that, I will see you all again next week. Thanks for joining me. This has been Les Sulgrove with Simply Des Moines Market Values Weekly Market Update.